Alright. We've got ourselves the grand finals. Wait a second. It's not the grand finals. It's just the upper bracket finals. Hero in the top right. A best of 7 match here against Vitality's MARU. Wait. Is he on Vitality, guys? He is on Vitality, right? Right? Okay, yes, sorry. It's Solar who left and went to Falcons, isn't it? I'm getting my names confused. It looks like we've got that sound turned off. This is a best of 7 upper finals. This is the RSL, guys. And it's actually my first time casting any replays from the RSL. Had people recommend this upper bracket finals to me quite a bit. So very curious to see what goes down. I pretty much cast any MARU map that happens because he doesn't play that much. MARU, him and Serral, you know, they are like, no. You guys have got to pay if you want to see me play. And he can start a 7-game series with a double proxy Marauder? No! Hero is going 2-gate proxy. MARU's going 2-gate. 2 racks. I think MARU's build should win. I mean, the problem is the probe went home. Whereas I think one of these SCVs will go in for the scout after the proxy. So the problem is that Concussive doesn't come in that early. And if you get like a Zealot and a few Stalkers out fast, that's really powerful. You normally don't build Adepts off this. I think Zealot Stalker is optimal. Adepts don't do enough damage, and they're outranged by the Marauders, so that's a real problem. We should see Tech Labs go down right now. Technically, he could go 2-Rex Reaper, but that would be gimmicky as all hell. This map is Evil Heart, by the way, guys. And I don't really know it well. Looks like we've got gold bases in the corners. 2 Zealots to start, Cybercore behind. First Tech Lab, about to finish. Second Tech Lab goes down. Now remember, you only have limited gas as MARU, so you want to go Marauder, then Concussive, I believe. Or is it even 3 Marauders before Concussive? I'm not quite sure on the timings here. So he's got 50 gas now. I don't think you can start it, though, because you've got to make sure these Marauders get going immediately. Concussive is a pretty quick upgrade to start up. And yeah, okay, so it's 3 Marauders, then Concussive is the build order. 2 Zealots, third one building, and now the Stalkers beginning problem. There's almost no gas. Zealots, of course, will tank very well against Marauders, but they won't do any damage. That being said, they'll get in and start mincing all of this, but no, they won't. The wall-off will be up in time. Oh, I was not sure about that. And the thing is, this pylon going down will be tragic. Second Stalker is building. First one's out. A little bit of a supply block here for Hero. Seems unnecessary. I think that's sloppy for him. Dude, that pylon going down to these Marauders is going to be tragic. Zealots are hitting the wall off. Hero should realize right now what's going on. He builds a battery, but he needs pylons. He hasn't put it together yet. He sends a probe out. He will see these Marauders momentarily. They are coming in. Here come the Zealots and the Stalkers. Stalkers are going to start to wear on those units. Probe does go down. That pylon's actually a good snipe, but he's going to go, of course, straight for the workers, the higher value targets. Find yourself a high value target the same way some people out there are looking for high-value men. In a base trade, guys, play like a gold digger. Go straight for the money. Don't care about their looks. I know probes and SCVs might be a bit ugly, not as desirable looking as sniping down a Stalker or Marauder, but you got to go for the economy. You got to get in there and try to find that big damage. Wall-off's down. Probes are taking big damage. Probes do pretty well against Marauders if they've got Stalkers behind them, but you can see here he's kind of trapped. Hero's going to try and recall, and he goes for a little wraparound. He actually surrounds one of these. Dude, sick probe engagement, but one of the Stalkers has already gone down. One of the Marauders does get focused. The Zealot doing some really good damage. There are still 2 Zealots on the other side of the map. Looks like, I'm not sure if Hero messed up his recall or not. Dude, that Stalker, if he can get that Stalker out, that'll be massive. But he's going to hold. He's going to hold. He's got 12 probes. Meanwhile, there's still 2 Zealots on the other side of the map. That depot goes down, which means it's a supply block. Beautiful recall plus probes around for Hero. I love the way he grouped those units behind that mineral line. That was absolutely essential. That was... essential might be a weird word to describe that, but so's your face. If MARU could find the gateways, he could go depower those and have a chance. But right now, he doesn't know where those gateways are. He's pulling the drilly boys. It's one last-ditch desperate effort. Disparate? Well, he has disparate forces right now going in for a desperate effort. What can I say, guys? I know words and I use them well. Stalker Zealot Adept is going to go after these Marauders. And it's a good fight for Hero. He's got to pull back, though, right? Is he just going to dive? It seems unnecessary chasing down the ramp there. The Zealot and the Adept will get taken care of. He does get another volley off. Dude, Hero's micro is so good. Getting those extra shots was greedy as heck. But now he can pull his probes, and as long as he survives, he should be A-okay. The Marauders go after the Stalkers. That red air point Marauder very low. Probes do tase it down. Batteries coming up just in time to heal this Stalker. And of course, that is going to be that, because there's no mining at home for MARU. Really well played there by Hero. And Hero rolls cheese. MARU rolls cheese. Hero's cheese, I don't think necessarily just straight up wins. But as we saw, that recall maneuver was like just brilliantly executed. I cannot get over how well he did this. A lot of players would have just A-moved the probes and lost a lot of them. But he kind of runs around, wastes a bit of the attacking time of the Marauders while they're chasing, so he preserves his hit points, and then he recalls everything except 2 Zealots, which it turns out was the perfect amount. And, you know, yes, he lets that Marauder out of the initial surround, but it doesn't matter because he's making sure he gets on top of the other guys, and the Zealot just tanks so much damage here. It's really hard for Maru. You want to kind of shimmy around the probes and the Zealots, focus the Stalkers, but easier said than done. He needed to shut down the probes, so he had to go deep. That's how Hero lured him deep into his trap, and then closed the jaws. GG, well played. Alright guys, T10 in the top right side of the map, Maru in the bottom left. Game 2 is going to be on Enclave. That's right guys, Celestial Enclave. Yeah, and it's kind of a good map name. I guess Celestial because we've got the kind of like Protoss stuff everywhere. Funnily enough, this is the map that is not actually that protected. There's Zerg dildos everywhere, so it's, you know, normally an Enclave is protected. What is protected is this backdoor base, though. This backdoor base is very nice. That is the wrong scoreboard, isn't it? Thanks, guys. Sorry, in my mind, Maru kind of bullies Hero pretty frequently. Like, Hero has a bit of a, I don't know if it's a mental block with Maru. I feel like he throws against Maru slightly more than he does against other players. I can't get over that quarterfinals in Dallas where he was like up 50 supply in PvT, and like against anyone else, Hero would just go win. And instead he was like, let's make carriers. And Maru got to just turtle. And Maru was so far behind, he was like, am I being allowed to survive and build to late game? The thing where no Protoss can match me in? And then also Hero's just terrible with carriers. And Hero just A-moves his carriers in the final fight. They all just get EMP'd and killed by Vikings in like 6 seconds. And Hero kills like 10 supply of Maru's army while losing his maxed army. And I'm like, why would you play carriers against Maru, Hero? You've literally never been a good carrier player. Like, it's not a bad thing to mix in against a Zerg player when you want to play a kind of bullying style, but against Terran, you better damn well be an expert in carriers if you're going to do it against the late game god Maru. But yeah, that is Hero. I loved as well that they asked him immediately. I think Chobra was hosting that one, wasn't he? I think we had Chobra down there and was doing the stage interviews, and yeah, I was like, hey, you know, we saw you and Maru kind of laughing after the game. What did you say? And Hero's like, yeah, I went and asked him, like, oh, I told him I think building carriers might have been a mistake. And Maru just, yeah, and well, I guess it was Maru in the interview. Maru's like, yeah, I told him he would have 100% won if he didn't build carriers. So I was really lucky. And I'm like, yep, that is the way it goes. But, oh, Maru's going to rotate away here. It is Stargate build. I quite like Stargate builds. Obviously, this is a proxy, though, so usually you build 3 oracles is how Hero likes to do this. You can just go 1 oracle into Phoenix or 1 oracle into a quick Twilight and make Blink. This pylon positioning is always fun. You can kind of hide your tech back there. Very hard for them to scout it with that Reaper ledge blocked. And of course they can't jump in the back, but the Reaper can jump up here and then it can run over here and jump up there. So he could still get into scout, but that's why the Adept is kind of standing in between both entrances. So the second Adept comes out. Bunker at the natural will come up. It was 2 Marines. If you guys don't do this, by the way, 2 Marines with your standard Terran builds these days, every top Terran does this now. I've started doing it. My early game TVP feels much safer now. Just Clem does this every game. 2 Marines after Reaper with a standard Reaper expand. It just, those times, if you're not SCV scouting, when that Zealot comes across and there's an Adept behind it, yes, you can defend it without 2 Marines, but you better damn well have 400 APM and the most perfect micro in the world, which I, very rarely can pull off. I remember once I played Max Packs in that situation with a single Marine, and I actually defended it like nearly perfectly, and it was like the proudest TVP moment of my life. And then like an Oracle flew in my base and I died. And like I didn't even care. I was just so happy that like I didn't lose an SCV to the Zealot Adept. I was like, oh my god, I didn't lose an SCV. I'm so proud. I was running my SCV in circles against Max Packs. Now this is cute. Waiting is huge. 3rd Command Center. Whoa, what is... Wait, what? What's Maru seen that's making him do this? Because he's gone for his starport really early. Was he always planning to just go defensive Cyclone, Tanks, and Raven? Because often with the fast 3cc build like this, you don't have the starport. But I guess having the starport at least makes the Protoss wonder what's going on. Probe runs in and just kills itself on the bunker. Double Oracle's about to come in. I think the Cyclone shuts this down, though. Unless he shades the Adepts in past the bunker. pulls the units down, and then the Oracles fly in the main. You're happy to then trade the Adepts out, and the triple Oracle dive could do big damage. Phoenix is building behind. He's going to show the Oracle a bit too early, though. That means Maru will have time to respond. Hero goes for it. Oh, he's just going to go for the Cyclone? He does go for the Cyclone, and he will get it, but he goes a bit deep. Oh, okay, the Adepts are inside, though. Dude, Hero's all over this. Yeah, Hero can just shift-click those Marines. Especially if he gets the Adepts on top, he can just kill those Marines. He's just going to go for the Workers, though. Why does he need to do any more? He absolutely doesn't. He runs away from the tank over there. 15 SCV 16! Dude! Hero right now is murdering Maru at the start of this series. Absolutely murdering. We never see Hero get openings this good, but this map is quite nasty because it's such a greedy, easily defensible map, and I really feel like the third command center build, I get it, kind of, but I also don't get it with the starport. Like, I just have to wonder what this starport was for this entire time. Do you know what I mean, guys? Like, he built a starport, he took a second gas and mined off of it, but what did that give him against any of the aggressive threats? Because you can build Cyclones and Marines to defend Cyclones, to defend Oracles, and then you just want tanks, don't you, to defend on the ground. Fourth Oracle comes in. Cyclones there. Should survive if there's no scan. Does survive. More Adepts coming in. Remember, he only lost one Adept before, guys, so he could still shade in this mineral line and trade these Adepts. He's going to do it. You know Hero can't resist. Oh, he actually cancels it. Hero's got a third up Forge and Twilight and a fourth Gateway. Ooh, okay, picks up the Cyclone. Nicely done. 1, 2. Trades the Phoenix for 4 SCVs. Not bad at all. The Adepts do stumble in a little bit, but now he's going to shade, and I think he commits this time, maybe. There's just so little defense. If he just goes there and holds position... okay, well, the SCVs do run pretty quickly, but he gets another 5 workers. 5, 6 workers, not bad. Shift clicks a couple more, and I think he just thinks of these Adepts as disposable units. He doesn't have any army behind this, so we are getting to the stage in the game where Hero does have to calm down. You know, you've built 5 Oracles. Okay, 4, sorry. One of the Oracles survived the previous wave. But you've built 4 Oracles. You've thrown away like 10 Adepts as well, and a Phoenix. Okay, like now we need to just make army and defend the push. And this is Hero's weakest part of PvT. He's so many times forced his opponent all in, and then he just like refuses to make splash damage, refuses to make an army, and just keeps harassing, like throws his own units away. Like, you're already so far ahead economically, you don't really need to harass anymore. He's going to sacrifice an Oracle there for 4 more SCVs. I think that's worth. You need to keep one Oracle alive because that's your observer, basically. You want to energy recharge and then just keep tagging him to make sure he can't move out. You know there's 3 command centers, right? So you know you've got a bit of time, but you do want to see either a Templar Archives or a Robo Bay right now. Hero has the money for it. He's gone 6 gases as well. And this is another really big weak part of Hero's game. And I'm analyzing this, guys, just because Hero is sometimes really strong. This is a terrible 4th base. It's only 5 minerals, and yes, it's a rich gas, but this is the most exposed base on the map. Top left is decent. This base is decent. I hate this base. I get if you're pushing through the middle, it's kind of easier to defend from drops. But I think this base is garbage, number 1. Number 2, like I was saying, that weak point is that Hero will go 6 gases, bank gas, but he will delay his splash damage when he's way ahead far too long. Doesn't even matter. Note, the Stalkers are going to go in. He's so far ahead, it should not matter. But remember, we've seen Hero make some of the craziest throws against Maru in the past. And I've always got to set up for it, because if there's one thing that Hero is excellent at, it's playing from behind. And if there's one thing he's not excellent at, it's playing from ahead. There's something about these sort of players like Hero who'd like to take big gambles and risks, is he's allergic to hedging bets and playing safe. And that's why I've always got to analyze it and try to figure out where that could come from. I think he's totally fine in this game because he's got 7 gates up and now double robo. Oh my gosh! Unnecessary, but 3 tanks go down. Oh my gosh. Okay, that was a lot of Stalkers, guys. He just lost 8 Stalkers for 3 tanks. You can see mineral-wise, massive loss. Unnecessary, right? And he's still not building Colossus out of his double robo. Like, this is just... He just doesn't focus on his basics. Like, what's... He's spending all of his money on Stalkers right now. And Hero, just do normal things. Just once. Just once. Hero! Why aren't we making splash damage? The supply is, like, shockingly close. He's letting Maru survive. I still think Maru should be completely dead. But it's just like, this game should not be this close. You are so far ahead. You just need to actually use this tech that's been up for a minute now. He finally starts 1 Colossus. Please start a second and please chrono these. Zealot drop in the back's really nice. That's pretty cheap, but the Prism flies into the Marines and dies. A little unnecessary there. Zealots are going to try to go forward. That's a good play. This makes perfect sense because he lured the army to the back. That's going to be so efficient, and that could potentially break Maru's back. Maru stims down here pretty quickly. He's only got 2 medevacs. Good pullback for the Stalkers. 9 SCVs, 2 tanks and a Cyclone. Brilliant play there. Maru knows the only way back in this game is in a very long, drawn-out game. He's going to go for the command center. Now, I love the 2 Colossus guys because there's no way Maru can afford Vikings. However, tanks can still defend against Colossus. The real trick usually is to go Disruptors. Now, I'm not sure if Disruptors can outrange tanks anymore. Good move by Maru. But Disruptors used to be one of the best ways to siege down a Terran who's just turtling and trying to survive. The other thing you can do is you can just skip straight to late game. You can, at this point, you've got map dominance. Maru's clearly going to turtle for the next 8 minutes. Take a 5th base, break the rocks down, go for 2 Stargates, Fleet Beacon, and just go Tempest Storm. And that's Heroes put 2 and 2 together. He might, knowing Hero, he might just go Mothership and try to recall in the back. I think Tempest Storm is just the easiest way to break a Terran who's just sitting behind tanks and wall-offs. Picking at him like this to make it hard for him to expand is also an excellent play. This is really good. So Hero is recognizing Templar Archives and Stargate. Oh my god, Hero is actually pivoting. I love it. I've seen Hero and a lot of other Protoss players headbutt into Maru in this sort of game and just throw army after army away for no reason. If you're going to do that, like, I do think Hero could have gone mass, say, double Forge Zealot Stalker, do a drop in the back, charge mass Zealot Stalker in the front. He could probably win with that. That would probably work, but this is an even better way. Fleet Beacon goes down. Now, because it's a Fleet Beacon but no second Stargate, that tells us it is Mothership. Mothership, nowhere near as good as Tempest here. Still decent, though. +2 armor, +3 attack is on the way as well, so he's a little ahead on the upgrades, just a little bit. And 75 workers is a pretty decent count. You could go a little higher, but I think against a Terran who's been taking damage this whole time has lost, what, 40? Yeah, 43 SCVs. That's great. You can see there's pylons everywhere, so they're just making sure there's no way a drop could sneak across the map. He technically does need a pylon here and here to really close the noose. Speed Prism could go down that left side, but he'll have to loop into the main base. And of course, there is Bio waiting for that as well. I love the tanks and libs layered here, and look at this, 3 more command centers. Maru's doing what he needs to do to play the long game. Hero's still not building a Mothership. I don't think that's the right call. He's not building Tempest either. Colossus coming forward with the Stalkers. They focus a tank. Prism does fly in, but it's not really going to achieve anything there. He could get out if he goes along into the dead space. If he goes along the edge, does that turret kill him? Oh, he's attacking the front again. Oh my god, he just threw an army up a ramp! Why would you go in there? He cleared a few tanks, but why? What is wrong with you, Hero? Just be normal for once. Why? Guys, this is such an easy game to win. Finally, 2 Stargate Tempest Storm is coming in. It's insane to me how when a Terran is so clearly stuck in his corner turtling, players will refuse to do this for so many minutes. We've got to hurry up, Hero. I can't believe Hero's thrown his advantage. He really has. Oh my gosh, the supply is competitive now. If Maru can catch up, get ship weapons, which there's no air upgrades just yet. There was already a Stargate on the map, actually. So he could have gone for that Fleet Beacon earlier. I forgot he still has this Stargate. Stalkers come in, they get a Viking. 2 Vikings for a couple Stalkers, that's actually a good trade for Hero. The Hero's not crazy rich. So what he should be doing is building cannon battery on this ridge. I've talked to you guys about cannon battery on a forward ridge with Storm spread out and Tempest is how you beat Terran in the end game. It is good to see Hero adding that cannon battery. This is the best way to play late game. It's always been the best way to play late game against Terran. Has Hero given Maru enough time, though, to bully him off this high ground? Observer goes down. High Templar coming in from the left. Feedbacks. Feedbacks would be really good there. No feedbacks going down. I think the best Protoss players have gotten really good with their feedback micro recently. Oh, these High Templar go a bit far forward. 3 full energy High Templar go down. Little sloppy for Hero. He's got to warp in more of those. He also should take a Nexus here just so he can energy recharge. And the Tempest can start sieging. But he's lost most of his Psy Storm. High Templar on the left comes in. Doesn't have any storms with his army. He doesn't have any storms with his army. EMP's hitting the High Templar on the left, which means he's not quite landing the storms. High Templar walked in range, but he doesn't quite get it. He's lost all of his storms, which means Maru can break through the position. Maru fighting like an absolute Chad Kamar right now. I cannot believe he got him off this high ground. It was those 3 High Templar going down. If he had any storm at all covering this ramp, Maru cannot push him off. Hero has effectively thrown this game, but hats off to Maru. Anyone else would have let the Prism in. Anyone else would have died to the constant Zealot Stalker on the front. Sorry I've been talking about Hero's side because all the agency in this game was on his side, but He made enough slip-ups, and MARU is one of the few players in the entire world who is good enough to actually hold on from there. I can't believe I talked about how Hero throws more against MARU than everyone else at the start of this. I have no idea what happens in these games, guys. I have not watched a single day of RSL live. It is always at a time when I'm either out or asleep. It is always one or the other. But yeah, this is wild. Because now Hero's lost the high ground, which is what allows your Tempest Storm to be good. He's got to move forward, spread High Templar, which Hero really struggles to do because he uses F2 too much. He's very weak at spreading his High Templar because of that. It's always been a big weakness of his game is he impulsively presses F2 and clumps his units up. But I do like that he's got 3 new Colossus. If he can spread the High Templar, get these cannons out to here, he can siege this base. And remember, if you hold this area, Terran can't expand. You can branch left, you can branch right. Terran just can't get out of here. And I mean, Hero's doing the correct thing, but you can just tell he's a little unpracticed with it, and he needs to be a bit more patient with setting this up. Don't worry, Pig, this is Hero's secret. Oh, no! Okay, the Zealots actually kill a tank or two. 2 tanks? I can't believe the Zealots worked. That looked like a mistake, but they actually killed a bunch of tanks. That's hilarious. Chat's pointing out, guys, this is Hero's secret, is he falls behind so that he can really start playing really good tight StarCraft again. When he's ahead, right, he always plays a bit sloppy, but when he's behind, he plays better. So falling behind is actually his secret. His High Templar are all clumped once again. This is the problem is he just doesn't keep reserve High Templar off control group. He did it before. He's got 2 over here, but I just feel like they're going to get F2'd to the front. I do love the cannon battery there. Tempest trying to kite forwards. He needs a few more Stalkers as well. If he can have like 8 Stalkers, that'd be good. Oh my god. Okay, gets a good feedback. Tempest's bullying a little bit. Well done. Really well done. The Observer siege up is kind of hilarious. Great Storm. Mama comes forward, but he doesn't have many Stalkers. This is where you need to be able to have like just like 6 or 8 Stalkers, I think, to blink forward and shoot those would be really nice. So Hero's going to start wearing MARU down. The problem is MARU's got a base on the left up. Hero probably should be clicking a DT or some Zealots in there or something like that. He's very focused on the front. This is where I think that there's very slow, methodical players. I would sub Zaun in stats, Showtime for Hero pretty much any day of the week here, because I don't know if Hero is good enough at this slow... This is not his style. This is a style Estrella plays near perfectly. Let's see if Hero can pull it off. Hero is one of those guys, when you put him in a box and say he can't play a style, he will show you he's really good at that style. Unfortunately, even though his Storms were good, he just lost a lot of Tempests. 8 Tempests have gone down, and remember, the new Storm doesn't do as much damage as the old one. So I've been talking a lot about how this is the best way to beat Terran in late game. I've also been talking a lot about how we haven't seen any Protoss try this style on the new patch. And the lower Storm damage is a real pain. Even though you've got bigger area, bigger radius, you need instantaneous damage on those Vikings. Because otherwise, look at this. Look how quickly he's going to repair back up. Very cheap to repair. And that's going to be really well done for him. Uh-oh. Big rotate of the army. Big rotate of the army. There are 8 High Templar. A few Zealots are going to run in from that right side. Oh my gosh, there's a lot of ghosts. Planetary should be getting repaired. Good Storm. But, oh my god, all the High Templar went in pretty clumped up. Good Storms, though. Time Warp comes in. Needs another Storm or 2. He's got High Templar right there. Where are the Storms? Oh, good Storms on the army. Is it enough, though? It doesn't look like it is. And I think Maru's going to break out yet again. No cannons and batteries over here. I think Hero made the classic mistake. The whole point of this style is you need to stay near the cannons and walk those cannons forward to help you equalize the airfight. Then again, the Vikings were damaged and they started to get one shot by the Tempests. That is bringing up to 25 Vikings killed, which is really good for Hero. The Planetary barely surviving. Hero is still on just 75 workers. How good has he been at transferring? It looks like he's doing a good job of transferring workers to new bases, taking a new one down the bottom. But the supply, dangerously close here. 2 Disruptors are going to come in. I do like having 1 or 2 Disruptors mixed in, but it does make your army incredibly complicated. So Hero might do some amazing... Like, he's got a Sentry to manage as well. The Sentry just gets one shot. Clicking the Command Center. He doesn't even have Tectonic Destabilizers for his Tempest. That was a crazy attack. What was that? He just threw away a bunch of Zealots and his entire Tempest army. What was that? The thing is, like I said, Hero, this style is all about staying in a static position. Hero's trying to play a siege army like it's a cavalry army. He's literally like, hey, he's out of position, and he's telling his catapults to go chase down the enemy supply line. That's not how catapults work. Tempests are literally a siege army, guys. This army is meant to fight with the cannons. The way you make this work is you siege this base and you build cannons to the edge. And that's what you do. And you bully him off this base and you say, okay, if you take that base, that's fine. And then you try to get cannons over there as well. You try to creep your way forwards. If you get cannons in this area, then you can deny both bases from the same siege angle. It's a circumnavigation, you know? It's the Battle of Alesia. It's Caesar in Gaul. The thing is, I honestly think Hero has only studied one bit of military history, and it's like Mongol mass horse archer lancer tactics. I don't know if he knows other tactics. He's using a siege army as if it's cavalry. It makes no friggin' sense. Maru, on the other hand, by the way, guys, is showing World War I. He has studied World War I, and he understands if you dig a big enough trench, you put enough men in it, and you just defend the line. If you are defending World War I or previous enemies, they will be stupid enough to charge into that defensive line repeatedly. I mean, Maru right now is the Germans, and he's waiting for the stupid Brits and French to throw another million guys into his line on pointless charges. And if you're a Hero fan, you have to hope some of Hero's commanders are Blackadder. You have to hope it's goddamn Mr. Bean in a World War I uniform eating the carrier pigeon to avoid getting the order to go over the top, you know? You need him to instead creep his trenches towards the enemy and slowly shell him with artillery from that position. Disruptors! Disruptor storm! Okay, good EMPs though, and he's lost all of his storms. He clumped his High Templar, which means he has no fallback storms. Huge mistake. If he had another High Templar or two coming forward, Maru couldn't chase, but Maru's chasing very well. Maru doesn't have enough Vikings though, and keep in mind, Maru only has +2 armor, +2 attack. No armor for the Vikings, because Maru's been relatively broke this game. But Maru gets another base up. He's got extra bases coming up, and Hero, he just can't not F2 his High Templar. He can't not F2 his High Templar. Yapping too much about random stuff? That's alright if you don't understand the words because you're too stupid. That's okay, guy in the chat. That's okay! I feel like I explain. I'm literally like giving context to everything Hero's doing wrong, which is he's now swapped into an actual ground army, but there's always one guy in the chat who's like, you didn't say what the Stalker was attacking. Use your own eyes, guy in the chat! Stalker's coming forward. Disruptor does take out the siege tank as well. Stalker's got to be pulling back. Oh, flank, flank, flank! Watch out for the flank! Big flanking army, but his High Templar are clumped again! His High Templar all clumped up again. Then again, the Colossus Micro is pretty good. The Tempest Stutter Step is nice. Hero's so outnumbered though, and he's only got 8 gateways. He can't remax quickly here. He cannot remax quickly. Maru sees an opportunity, loops around the right side, and dives on top. Dude, Maru, the undisputed king of TVP late game, and there is a reason why. This man is so good at just waiting it out and patiently destroying. Remember, Vikings are a little cheaper this patch. Ghosts are tankier at 125 hit points a pop. But honestly, I think this all came down to Hero giving him the opportunities he needed and Maru snatching them. Just saying, I will defend the front so well. This is obviously a map where I think Tempest Storm could absolutely work, but you need to siege them, and you need to siege them patiently and slowly on the front. Of course, Hero and Patience are two opposite terms. An absolutely monumental throw in this game from Hero. Alright guys, so I want to go back to around this point where Hero was starting to make some inroads with his army, and I'm sure there's going to be some people in the comments in the chat and people who don't understand StarCraft very well who say, well, this style clearly doesn't work, Pig. I will point out this is a terrible example of that because look at this position, guys. At this point, yes, he's setting up a pretty good position. Yes, his High Templar were pretty well spread. But they're not. Number one, he's down 20 army supply. Remember how far ahead he was in this game. He's now down 4,000 resources. So he's already thrown his advantage by the time he committed to Tempest Storm. Number one. Number two, remember, from like 9 minutes on, it was clear he'd seen the extra command centers. He knew that Maru was way behind and was just turtling to survive. Hero 100% had that game knowledge. Despite that, he took probably an extra minute and a half to get into Tempest Storm than he could have. Lastly, but not leastly, these cannons and batteries are very far back. He actually was in a dominant enough position, he could have built them further forward. And then we see the big thing which consistently lost him this game. High Templar walking forwards in groups. Even when he would split two High Templar off to the side, his High Templar and his main army would always walk forward in a group and get themselves killed. He did this multiple times in this game. This was, like I said, poorly executed. I would put Zaun, Classic, Stats, Showtime, any of the popular defensive Protosses Hell, Rain in over Hero in this scenario because they know how to siege someone down. Harstem, I would put in over Hero in this situation. I know that sounds crazy, but Harstem has spent many games sieging people with cannons, batteries, Tempest Storm. Hero is a movement-based player, and I really think he needs to either work hard on this style to get good at it, or he needs to go kill him earlier, which means he should have been committing harder to those Zealot Stalker attacks a little bit earlier on this map, and really trying to get the big, 12 Zealots warped in the back, charge the front with Zealots, but he never really committed. Even when he was blinking his Stalkers in, he didn't commit to the charge attack. Remember, it was just pure Stalkers. Imagine if he had 10 Zealots charging on the tanks with his Stalkers, how much he would have busted this front open earlier. But of course, here's the moment where he warps in new High Templar. None of them have Storm energy. His only High Templar are on the flank. This High Templar walks in. He actually could have dropped a Storm, but it wasn't selected. That High Templar was already out of energy. And his army that's both smaller and lacking the most important tech gets pushed back here. And you can see MARU barely broke out at this moment. Keep in mind, if MARU didn't clear him here, MARU was dead. MARU desperately needs room to bully this back so that this base isn't getting sieged, so he can try to secure a fifth, so he can try to survive. He barely broke out there. Imagine if Hero had 20 or 30 more supply. Imagine if Hero had any of his High Templar extra spread out here. There's a lot of small differences that could have made a big thing. Also, only 8 gateways for Hero. He never had a lot of gateways, and he didn't even have a gateway here, which means he couldn't do fast warp-ins on the front line, which is a huge mistake. The fact that he's got to warp in reinforcements here, why wasn't there a gateway here? Why wasn't he able to warp in 8 Zealots in the middle of that fight? That's a big mistake for him. GG, well played. I have to give it to MARU, guys. Obviously, I know I didn't talk about what he was doing a lot, because all he could do was turtle. He just set up a defensive line, and he held, and then the moment Hero screwed up, he pounced, and that was brilliant from MARU. All right, guys, going into the mothership on Protoss territory. MARU in the bottom right. To be fair, I think this map's a little better for Protoss, but Hero is a big fan of doing crazy proxies on it. Yeah, I do think it's slightly better for Terran. Anyways, it's kind of fascinating, to see how things have gone. MARU surviving there. I do think a lot of Protoss players are kind of lost in the late game because I think 99% of their games is Terran all over them, timing attacks, swarming them, trying to kill them. I think it's just a big mindset shift where you're like, normally this matchup is about how do I survive Terran's timing attack and then Terran overwhelming with this or that and Terran multi-prong, and it's just such a rare luxury to have map dominance and that sort of thing. But the reason I harp on about it and get annoyed is because as a caster, these metas come along once in a while, and I guess it's just easy for us to recognize the state, but I think the more and more games you play like this, the easier it should be for top Protoss players. And it's not just Hero. I've seen a lot of top Protoss players against Clem, where like Clem is just sitting at home. You can see he's just building turrets and sensor towers and 4th and 5th and 6th command centers, and he's refusing to move out at all. And the Protoss has a good lead in the mid game, but they don't use it well enough. And I really feel for Protoss, you have a very clear decision-making tree in the current meta of StarCraft 2. It's, I do not want to play that late game with Tempest Storm. Okay, if that's the case, I have to get him. In those games, you don't want 6 gases. You want to play maybe 5 gases at most. Hero went 6 gas. So you play like 5 gas. I don't think you want to, like, yes, you want to eventually add Psystorm, but you want to focus more on killing your opponent with like Prism in the back, Zealot, Stalker, Colossus timing on the front. And maybe that your aim is to hit that as hard as possible the moment MARU moves out to take a 4th, because Celestial Enclave is so hard to hit otherwise. Maybe you're committing to that a bit lower off the economy and doing that Zealot. Like, if you're going to be diving Stalkers in on the tanks repeatedly on the natural, maybe you also go for 10-gate Zealot off of 4 base, right? I think the point, what I'm trying to make is you either attack very hard before late game, or if you're going to embrace late game, you have to embrace late game properly and rush to the Tempest Storm once you realize you're in that sort of game. Once you realize, hey, Terran's got no intention or no ability to kill me, rush to 2 Stargate Fleet Beacon, get out 4 or 5 Tempests, some Storms, and build the cannon battery outside his base. Hero, I felt like, did about 60-70% correct with how he sieged MARU, but he'd already thrown away a lot of armies, given up a lot of his lead. He had also delayed going the Tempests a bit long, didn't build his cannon battery as far forward as I would like, and then he just clumped the heck out of all of his High Templar. And this is one of those things where StarCraft is not just about strategy, it's about execution. And that's why it's hard to play things like this you don't get a lot of practice with. Even for a top player, if they don't play something a lot, like, they're not going to just be experts at doing something they don't practice a lot. That was very good. Catches the Reaper there. And the Reaper doesn't actually see the Twilight, interestingly. Yeah, MARU doesn't get vision of that. MARU's going second barracks. I think he's going to do a big tank push this game. Or at least be set up with the option for it. If Hero goes for a sentry when Warp Gate's finished and then immediately energy recharge Hallucinate Scouts, I think that'll be good for him. I think he can defend. If he doesn't do that, it's going to be very touch and go. That being said, second barracks into Starport. Okay, so it's not a 3 barracks like I was expecting. Third and fourth Marine come out. Adept does not want to fight 4 Marines at once. You might throw like 1 hit and then run away. But Maru's micro, very good. Oh, he lets him in. Big mistake. Oh, cancel, cancel, cancel. He sees a Cyclone as well. So now the Adept knows it has to go home. And it is going to be a 2-gate blink. Hero's going to go straight for a third. Despite seeing an early second barracks, he's going to say, well, your starport was late. I know there's a second barracks. I don't have to deal with air harass, so I just need to get Blink Stalkers out. He also warps in that sentry I was talking about to confirm. He's like, what the hell is the follow-up? And if he can hallucinate scout, probably doesn't need to do it just yet. I actually think he could wait 20 seconds on that, but he wants to confirm what's going on. And it looks like he's going to be tanks, 3 Marines at a time, stim, and we will see a medevac when he hits 100 gas, I believe. Then again, he's very low on gas, is Maru. So it's either, do you want the medevac or do you want the tank? Because right now, this starport's doing nothing. Maru's playing mind games right now, guys. He's done a starport with no production out of the Stargate build. This is essentially the 3-racks Marine tank timing, but he's got an imaginary starport. He's hallucinated a starport. I don't know if you guys know this is Terran. If you really want to hallucinate a building, you've got to pay for the building. And that's what he's done. I doubt Hero even realizes that's not producing. There's 1 medevac building. This is a huge timing. Third gateway's coming in. Third and fourth gas. Oh, he's going to try and go Storm. Storm will not be ready for this. It's all about the Blink Stalker control. He has to kill as many of these units as possible on the way across the map, or he's going to end up in trouble. But look at this. Maru's already set up a little ambush, which is not bad. Tank is a little exposed. Stalkers could blink on that, kill it, and run away. It would be a bit of a crazy choice, but might work out. This looks pretty sus. No gases on the natural yet at 5 minutes. Hero should just drop gateways and pump charge out. He's got charge on the way. He needs to pump gateways right now. If he can just go Zealot Stalker, he can hold this, but he doesn't need gas mining. He just needs minerals and Zealots. He's building gateways right now in the main. He knows what's up. Stalkers are here. He's got to watch out for that medevac Cyclone drop. There are more Stalkers on the front now. Gets himself a bit of damage. Here comes the SCV pool. 1 Stalker's gone down. Hero needs to kite like his life depends on it, and that's because it does. Charge is still about a minute away, and that means he needs to delay until then. I would have liked his Stalkers to go behind this push to cut off the reinforce, but I think he's worried about those Marines just shoving in, and he feels like right now he needs to defend with pure Stalker. Does take out a lot of these SCVs on the way across the map, but that doesn't really remove the firepower. It just removes the tanking ability of this push. Dude, he's done really good damage. The tanks are forced to siege quite far back. He's trying to chrono charge. Charge is 40 seconds away, maybe 30 seconds with chrono boost. 4 more gateways coming in. He needs another. He should build another pylon here. Dude, that pylon's going to go down. He's going to lose. He should have already built this pylon here. If that pylon goes down, he's screwed. He does have force fields available. Bunkers are going down for Maru. Maru does not have shields. And oh, he's not watching. The sentry got focus fired. GG. That's the GG pylon snipe. Maru, I can't believe he spotted that. Maru had so little information, but the moment he saw, he realized, wait, you're waiting for charge, aren't you? And he gets the next pylon as well. That's why he should have built the pylon in the back. Maru identifying everything. Stalkers try to go behind. They get shot down by the tanks. His Stalkers did not go around well enough. They all died. His Stalkers all died. The Marine count's very low, but look at this. Twilight Council gets repowered. Doesn't matter. Twilight Council's dead. Marine medevac doing really well. Second medevac arriving as well as Mass Marine. 33 SCVs are still here. Bunkers starting to crawl forward right now. The Marines need to heal up. Right now, Maru is aware of how fragile his purchase on this natural is. It's all about these Marines, but with no charge, what can Hero possibly do? He's got to run these probes back, recall them. He's going to pull probes into tanks. Oh my gosh, he goes in, he gets 1 tank. He gets 2. Can he get the 3rd? No, he doesn't focus the 3rd tank down in time. And the probes have gone down as well. Yes, he has some Zealots there. I mean, if Hero goes around and cuts off the reinforcement, maybe, but this is really tough. Nice play here for Maru. Very nice play. And I think getting that Twilight was so huge. I do think if there was an extra pylon in the mineral line, this might be a game he could win. I love the recall to the 3rd, so he's still on 2 bases mining. But I think he needs Stalkers behind the push. And if you can't cut off the reinforcement, you're in trouble. Like, he should have at least 4 Stalkers intercepting these units right now. But he's not done that. And in fact, Maru says, screw it, let's play a macro game. SCV production, engineering bay, add-ons building, combat shields on the way. And his bunker lib is still going to trade pretty well here. Guardian Shield's freaking good, though. Man, Guardian Shield is insane. Guardian Shield is so insane. These Marines going to try to run home. Hero's got to chase him back while rebuilding his natural. Hero can do that? Maybe. He goes Templar Archives, Pro Production. Maybe Hero can get back in this game, but he's got to hunt these Marines down if possible. Looks like he might not be able to. Mass Stalker Sentry hitting the natural. Is there a siege tank? There is one tank. Tank could be very helpful. MARU has 2 tanks now. This should be a completely defended natural, right? Surely with an SCV pool and 2 tanks, even with so few Marines, you'd have to be crazy as Hero to go in there. Then again, Hero has hallucination. He can blink up the left. Blinking up the left side is actually his best play. Of course, this 8 Marine drop is going to kill every probe on his 3rd, and that'll be the GG button. MARU sneaking that drop across is actually clutch. Hero doesn't realize the Marines are missing because the game's so messy. He should kind of realize that looks a little too low. He's going to go in here, blinks forward, and does get rid of a tank. Really nice play, actually. Oh, very nice. Unfortunately, like I said, 8 Marines. Oh, he warps in Zealots. Unfortunately, they're slow Zealots, but they will buy a little bit of time. Oh, no. Okay, good reaction time by Hero. Slow Zealots against 8 Marines, though. These Marines can dance all day. They can dance all day. Recall not ready for another 30 seconds, guys. Zealots can't kill a single Marine here. And the probes go back to mining, which is crazy. Absolutely crazy. Still doesn't have a 3rd up. Remember, Stalkers are warping in the main. But he's got the only dead space on this map is right here. He's going to be happy about that. And that's a huge drop. Because now MARU is adding his 4th and 5th barracks. Tech labs are building there. He's going to put down a 3rd command center. Which he desperately needs because main base is already half mined out. Put a Stalker on the right side is Hero. He's going to start making High Templar next. Still doesn't have that 3rd Nexus that we were talking about. Sees the 3rd CC, so he's going to realize, oh god. He's got 2 problems. One, I'm going to fall behind economically. But also, how the hell do I stop this force moving out? I don't have enough Stalkers to even one-shot a Marine now that Combat Shields is finished. And good stim to chase this back. Good blink away for Hero. Very well played. I think Hero's in a pretty much close to impossible scenario. Storms on the way. He's making items. He's just got to land amazing storms. Without a warp prism, that'll be a tough ask. Can you target fire from a bunker? Yes, you can stim units in a bunker and you can target fire bunkers. You can even shift click with a bunker. Third Nexus finally goes down to rebuild on his natural. But Ghost Academy's coming in. 5 barracks are up. He's gone double reactor, has MARU. Old school. Bit more Marine heavy. Good for clearing Zealots. Is more vulnerable to splash damage, though. What map features are the best for that Tempest Storm style? Anytime you can get cemented on a ridge outside your opponent's base. But it's more about how your opponent's playing than anything. Also, the more compact the bases are, the better the Tempest style is. So Tempest style, Siege style with the Tempest Cannon Storm was very good on ley lines, very good on that last map, Enclave. Like, the position where Hero was trying to siege from was perfect. Because you want a central position in between all your opponent's potential expansions, so you can easily move a very short distance in any direction to deny a base or to chip away and pick at their units. Good Stalker Micro. I love the way he bullies MARU back. Uh-oh. He sees the High Templar. He's just going to run in and click on them, knowing he can tank the storms because there's no supporting units. Good arc on Morph. Alright, Hero needs some magic to happen right now, guys. And he has a few sentries in High Templar, so he does have a lot of magic units. Does have a prism. Just needs that perfect engagement. He needs MARU to not pre-spread his units in a beautiful, safe setup like this. He's like, MARU, could you please clump your army? And of course, MARU's not going to do it. MARU's seen a 3rd base that's just now coming up. He knows that Hero's economy is in the dumpster. Here we go. Big all-in for Hero. He's going to go for it. Does land 1 good storm. Another 2nd really good storm. Doesn't have any more behind it, though. And the army just gets stimmed and jumped on top of. Absolute massacre. I wouldn't be surprised if Hero just GG's right there. That is a dominant play for MARU. Off of the back of that early tank push, man. A single Marauder will kill the High Templar eventually, given enough time. Takes him a lot of shots, though. High Templar storms himself to death. Denied. It's weird. Hero is low on probes, but he's not been producing probes. He's all in, guys. He knows he's too far behind to recover in the long game. So he figured he'd just focus on army, hope that MARU pushed out and he could kill the army. But because MARU scouted that he wasn't on a good economy, MARU knew to play defensive, and that forced Hero to play offensive. This is just basics of StarCraft 2. You know, if you're too far behind in the long game, rather than double down on the army right now and hope you catch your opponent over-investing in the long game themselves. It was a desperate effort, but he was in a desperate position, so we had to try something. Great Widow Mine hits on the Zealots. Oh, the Bio Ghost army is dancing so well. Brilliant micro for Maru. I mean, these fights are obviously a bit too easy for him because he's ahead, but you can see how textbook he is. Like, when a Terran player as good as Maru is this far ahead, their army control is next level. What's he recalling, guys? One High Templar gets instantly AP to take it down. Well, Maru should have been down 0-2. This game was nail-bitingly close as well against that early push, but now he finds himself up 2-1. And this is just very much a Maru versus Hero series. You never know what's going to happen next. You really have no idea. I think really good Stalker micro. The one big change I'd like to see from Hero is I would have loved his Stalkers when he got pushed back to here to rotate north. So this is one of these important things you guys can apply, I think, as a concept, is you need at least 4 or 5 Stalkers behind the push, and often, honestly, this whole army. I think if all 7 Stalkers rotate behind this army, even here, pull back to the right and chip at him from behind, means he can't rally these units, so it weakens his army, but it also means he's got to worry about getting jumped on from both sides. And then because you're warping in off lots of gateways, you can come forward from the front with 5 Stalkers and a sentry, try to skirmish out here while these guys attack from behind. This is the latest point where he has to make that decision, though. These guys need to move north. And I think, don't get me wrong, you could be like, but wouldn't Maru just shove in? If you look at his army, it's 13 Marines with Stim, only 1 medevac to heal them, 2 tanks and a Cyclone, a few OCs. It's not that scary an army. Don't get me wrong, if he shoves in, yes, he can push through the front, and these units will have to stutter step back. But that means he's kind of overcommitting. Meanwhile, these Stalkers can they don't have to go across the map. They can just be harrying him from the rear. And I actually think that's much better for you. But the moment you don't get behind that push, you've got to be really careful. And this is why I think that, I guess there was one more chance to do this, which was here. These Stalkers should move there, wait for Blink to be ready, blink across the rocks, and then cut around. You've already got 2 Marines free, 3 Marines kill. You might get this tank. Imagine if there's only 2 tanks on the front instead of 3. And the fact that there's very little medevac healing, that sort of movement is something Terran can't deal with because they don't have concussive, they don't have good medevac production, and they basically have almost no healing for the Marines, right? 1 low energy medevac is not that much. So I think that was the big mistake. Obviously, there's also the other thing, which is Pylon should have gone up here. I do think he should have pulled off gas as well. Remember, he scouted this push coming, and I was saying, okay, he was planning to go Storm early, but the moment he scouted the push, he knew, oh, there's no way Storm will work. Pulling off this gas, putting those probes straight on his third before the push moved across the map would have been just a nice little bonus touch that would have helped him out. But as you can see, he's like desperately microing Stalkers, trying to add gateways and pylons. There's a lot to do at once. It's really hard to be perfect in these scenarios, and Hero is still pretty close to holding it. But hats off to Maru, because he doesn't have great vision. But look at this. He ventures forward, and then he's just like, wait a second. Oh shit, he sees a chrono boosted Twilight. He knows that when charge kicks in, the numbers shift a lot. Protoss is going to be a lot stronger. And he's like, hey, I hope you're not looking. He scans up north, and then he just stims in, clicks the sentry because he's worried about force fields. And then he's like, just get rid of the pylon and pull back to the tanks. That move there, huge. Charge, only about 15 seconds from finishing. The new pylon's also really exposed. It ends up going down. And then by the time finally Hero builds a safe pylon, the Twilight gets sniped. Beautiful game 3 for Maru. All right, going into the next one, guys. It's going to be Tokamak. Maru in the bottom left for Vitality. Hero for T1 in the top right. Hero's going to go for that instant probe harassment. Could be a proxy, but usually on a big map, like big map, a big Mac on a big Mac like this, covered in that very low tier McDonald's beef and sauce. No. On a big map like this, it's probably just to harass his opponent. Someone was asking, why would you build the Twilight on your natural like that? The reason is the Reaper was in his main when he put it down. So because the Reaper was circling in his main and he thought he could trap it, he figured I'll put the Twilight here on the second pylon, and then and he killed the Reaper. So that's why the Reaper didn't confirm it was a Twilight. So Hero was just being a little bit sneaky there, and unfortunately it backfired, but I don't think it had to backfire. Like I said, you just always have to build backup pylons. The moment you know Terran is 2-base pushing, we see it all the time with Protoss players with their Robo getting depowered as well. It's like, you know that those production buildings, if they've only got 1 pylon on the natural, always build a backup pylon powering them. This Provorass, I love it. Hero's been doing this for over a decade, guys. He was doing this in Heart of the Swarm. There was a period where every Protoss just favored like income over harassment, and Hero's the one guy who was just like, I'm going to be annoying. I'm going to get in my opponent's face and get a bit of a mental edge from the very start. And he's going to go after the weak one. And then you see he's trying to bait him because he knows if MARU tries to attack him, he just quickly clicks on a mineral here and he can phase through any units to get out of trouble. Could Hero have built the Twilight Council further back? Not really. I mean, don't want to block off your own gases, right? Maybe like 1 or 2 spaces. But I mean, this is Hero. Hero never optimizes building placement anyway. Hey, we're just casting the upper finals of this tournament, guys. Tomorrow morning at the start of that stream, we're going to cast the grand finals with whichever player ends up making it there. No spoilers for those who haven't seen RSL, please. And yeah, should be fun. Should be fun. It's a best of 7 grand finals as well, where if the lower bracket player wins, it activates a final best of 3, which is cool. So Command Center on the high ground. I mean, this is a pretty chill, just Marine expand. Very efficient Marine expands. The difference with them is that it doesn't really force much defensive stuff from your opponent. Now, this has been a Cybercore before Nexus. Hero's not done a super economic opening, right? I don't think. I think this is Cybercore before Nexus with that how early that Stalker was out. Yeah, so he's gonna go Stalker Adept Pressure, but Marines and Hellions should be able to defend it. I imagine we might see Widow Mine after that as well. No, he probably goes. I think he goes straight double Tech Lab there. Nice wall off, so if Stalkers blink in, they can't get past his buildings. Just shove a tank behind that, be super safe. I would want to see Hero being a bit more Chrono on probes focused. Having seen no Reaper, no sign of offense, he knows he's up against a 1-Rax expand. I mean, he does know that, right? I guess he did get walled off, but no, he saw the Marine into reactor timing. There's no Reaper, it has to be. Has to be a 1-Rax expand. Shading around. Third gateway goes up. Here we go. Hello. Oh. Yep, Stalker dancing around. Gonna go for a bit of a trade. Just wants to trade the Adept, not the other units. And that's good to start with, but now you've got 2 Hellions on your tail. But another Stalker does arrive. Saves the day. Otherwise, those Hellions might have been able to chase you down, especially with 3 of them. MARU here was trying to do a Marine drop plus Hellion run by opening. I do love this build, but it gets massively punished if your opponent comes in Stalker pressures and micros really well. Good medevac micro, though. Really good medevac micro. Just, you don't want to throw these Hellions away, but if you can kill the Stalkers, it's super worth. And Maru's micro, dude. Sorry, is this Clem? I thought Maru had a shoulder injury, guys. No signs of that here. He's got to get these Stalkers to make this worth it. He's committed pretty deep to chasing this. Oh, no, he's gone too deep. He's gone too deep. He's gone too deep. Maru got a bit too excited there. He does get the Stalker, but he loses the Hellion. He's going to now lose these 4 Marines as well. Hero should not lose any more Stalkers. The medevac continuing forwards is absolutely crazy, guys. I guess it's just a scout, and he does see that 3rd base, but yeah, he went too deep. He went way too deep there. He got a bit excited. Should have pulled back. Robo goes down. It's already 3-gate blink. 3rd Nexus into Robo. We've got a Raven tank. Also, very quick 3rd command center. Okay, I mean, is Maru already committing to what he tried to do on Celestial, guys? This is a pretty good turtle map for late game. All right, so the medevac and then the Hellions will get healed here. Hey, good SCV snipe. Hero grabbing what he can. Hero, you see, in this game, Hero should have non-stop probe production. That last game, it made sense for him to go desperately all in. But here, gaps in probe production. It's only for a second, but still. But still. You can see he's trying to use his minerals for everything. He's like, get charge immediately. Get the Forge next, I think, is what he's going to go for pretty soon. He's on 3 gates, so I think he'll probably go Forge early. What do you guys think? He tries to go 3... He might go 3 gas Robo Bay. I think you have to go Forge before Robo Bay if you're playing Colossus. If you're going Storm, you could play Storm, like, before upgrades. But if you're playing Colossus, you need the +1 and then +2 attack. Double Engineering Bay is on the way. Keep in mind, Hero has no scouting. He doesn't know about the double E-Bay 3rd Command Center. He doesn't know that Maru's basically just chilling at home for the next 5 minutes of this game. If he knew that, Hero might be going double Forge. He might be going, you know, non-stop chronos on the probes rather than the Robo. Building a few more gateways. Still no forge or anything. Raven comes in, but there's a battery available. Very slow reaction for Hero. Dude, what is this? Hero! What is going on with your map awareness, bro? Okay, that's really sloppy for Hero. He does clean up the Hellion, but that Raven just flew through his entire base without him noticing while he was just placing gateways and a Robo Bay. Very sloppy. He now goes for the Observer Scout. He sees everything, except the double engineering bay, but he can surmise that. He knows there's a third CC finished at 6.5 minutes, incredibly early. And we need to see forges right now, right? And a fourth gas and forge, at least one forge, should be essential. But Hero, he's stopped probing. Are we just going to do a Zealot Stalker timing? I mean, he might be trying to find that pre-stim timing. With these 3CC builds, stim, 1-1 and shields are all massively delayed, and they often float their third out about now, just before these upgrades are finished. And if you hit them with Zealot Stalker before the upgrades are finished, you can wreck them. And MARU, he's blind. He doesn't know what's happening. He's a Terran player. He still sees no fourth gas there, though it easily could be on the third base. He doesn't get a full vision of the Bane. He doesn't know what's going on. Zealot drop clears the tanks. Stalker Zealot on the natural as well. Brilliant timing here for Hero. Is it enough, though? It gets rid of a few tanks, but it wasn't a fully cocked timing. Right? A whole pack of Stalker Sentry just got left behind. I don't know why he only went with half of his army, but he did. Stim's now ready, but the other upgrades are not. Oh, Hero accidentally spent a volley on a Marine there, but that's okay. Both tanks go down. Brilliant timing for Hero. And the main upgrades, 1-1 and shields, still aren't here. The Stalkers trying to take down some Marines, some SCVs. The Force Field, not going to do that much, but of course the Sentry will get left for dead, no doubt. Prism's in the main base, warping in mass Zealot. The Stalkers trying to just keep him distracted on that natural. Prism will go down to the Viking. 10 SCVs have already fallen. The Zealots on the ramp not doing as well. I like the way Maru's pulled to the ramp. Maru knows it's all about surviving here. Third command center is a little exposed, though. With the Prism going down, I think that's really big. There are 3 observers on F2 right now. Stalkers. I mean, it was some good economic damage. 11 workers. Was it worth trading 700 resources worse? When you've only just now started your double forge and your Colossus production. I think Hero should have gone in with all of his Stalkers and Sentries on the initial push. I think his first wave sucked. I'll have to look at that in the replay, but I was surprised that he had, you know, I was like, oh, he didn't do that much damage. I thought he'd kill him with how good the Zealot drop was. And then I saw he had like 7 Stalkers and a Sentry that weren't even in the army. Templar Archives coming in. I think he's got enough freedom because Maru's just stuck, but 2-2 timing is amazing for Maru. I think the problem Maru's in, it's a lack of information, number one. It's also he's stuck on Siege Tank Turtle style. I think Maru might just be committed to turtling, but I actually think there's a timing. If he actually just commits full-on 2-2 YOLO, I think he could maybe win this. There are 2 Colossus. Hero's not over-committing to Colossus because he's worried about Vikings and tanks focusing them down. I would say the Vikings especially. So he kind of wants an overcommitment to Vikings for Maru, but Maru's not taking the bait. Maru's only got 4 Vikings. I think part of the reason is because he's just poor. Now he resumes Viking production. Turrets on the left. Ghost Academy on the right. 6 gases. Hero's going to take the gold base. So now you can see Hero's playing a 3-gas style. So this is the sort of style where he's saying, I don't want to play late game. I saw what happened on Enclave. I know I can't play Tempest Storm. I'm going to kill you off like maybe, I think he'll go to 75 probes again. But I think this time, you can see he's going to 10 gateways. I would not be surprised if he goes to 14 gateways and he just like looks for openings, especially if Maru moves out a bit too early. But Maru is just turtling. Like he's got a little squad roaming for map vision. Observers set up all around, by the way. They're all in the vision mode where they reveal themselves. But look how big their vision is. Their circle of vision is insane. Gives so much information. 1-1 upgrades. Finishing for Protoss as the 2-2 is almost done for Maru. Problem for Maru, as a guy who's turtling, I don't think he has any plan of moving out. I don't think he pushes with the upgrade advantage. I think he just chills. Tanks, really good for not dying in PvT. Not that good for winning the game. He does also need another depot here, otherwise Zealots can charge through that gap. Oh, here we go. You can see the Zealots charge through the gap. Maybe not that big of a problem. They charge through the mineral line as well. The Bio Ghost trying to defend this. Vikings coming forward. The tanks are starting to fall. SCVs do try to repair the tank momentarily. Good cleanup on the Zealot Stalker, but the Colossus survive. Units lost tab, I think, is fine. Yes, you lose a few thousand resources more, but you killed 17 workers. You're on 73 workers, including gold mining. I think that's an okay trade for Hero. Not terrible, not amazing. He's got his own 2-2 started, guys. Where is that? Behind the third. He's chronoing it a lot as well, which is good. 3-3 stalled for MARU. He doesn't have the gas for it. Trying to make ship weapons. Trying to build his ghost count. Ooh, MARU doesn't see the army rotating. That's a problem, but there's no way to focus the command center, actually. If you've got like 20 stalkers, you can blink in and kill the command center, but as it is, no way to really punish this. It's going to move that tank into the corner. Yeah, there we go. Probably going to put all of the tanks up there, it looks like. Okay, not bad, not bad. Hero's got a lot of zealots warping in the left. He could sneak down the left or maybe down the bottom right. There is a turret there as well, but only one. 2 more gateways coming in. 5th Nexus is up. This is the 6th Nexus. As I said, just mass gateway, and he's just going to look for timings, especially when MARU's moving out to take expansions. Problem, where'd the Colossus go, guys? Looks like the Colossus ran home. He's just going for zealot trades right now. He's trying to trade off his minerals, his hero, seeing what damage he can find. He gets 2 tanks. He's got to run away with these guys. Those zealots need to get out of there. He does run forward and deny the 4th, but these are not good cost for cost trades. So if you're going to play this style, it's maybe you want to go up to 80 probes. He's also going to need to think about a few more gases because he's still only on 3 gases. And he should definitely go to 5 gas. Otherwise, he's not even going to be able to start 3-3. Hero's not really planning ahead here. He's making a Dark Shrine. He's making a Prism, but this is a good map to turtle on. I do wish MARU would wall off this side with an eBay, this side with another depot. Then these tanks would be much harder to deal with. I think the tanks should also be just a little bit further back. They're a bit exposed right now. MARU with a mistake. Hero's going to take advantage. Hero finds the rare opening on MARU. Drops zealots across. No bio nearby. Those tanks are going to get slaughtered. Picks up and goes in the main as well. Great play for Hero with that Warp Prism. Gets the tanks, gets a few SCVs, but he's got to hit the front as well. He can't just do one thing at a time. He's just doing one thing at a time. I do not see the point in warping in these zealots here. I think this is just throwing money into the meat grinder right now. Oh, there we go. Okay, he does go forward at the same time. Zealot's going to dive forward. The Bio Ghost gets behind there. Can the Immortal Zealot take out the Planetary? I don't think so. Yes, it can. Just barely. So close. He gets it. He gets it. He does snipe the 4th. Terrible trade for Hero, though. That was a real half-cock push, and once again, Hero with some really sloppy engagements, man. He had no Stalkers, so he couldn't deal with the Libs. This is just really sloppy play, I feel like, for Hero. Like that Zealot warping in the back, it was so desynced. He finally went in on the front, but MARU, really good discipline, not F2ing, keeping his army spread, and now Hero finds himself... His Colossus, which he sent home a while ago, probably should have been in that army. I get he's trying to preserve them for later or something, but like he never sniped the Vikings, so... This is so weird, like, it just feels like Hero doesn't have much, like, longevity to his plan. And this on the map is a moment. Like, you can jump on top. MARU's still kind of poor. The Hero's just not remaxing quickly enough. And he's finally taken 3 more gases, but 3-3 still a little way away for him. 3-3's on the way for Terran as well. He's just keeping it really basic. You can go Disruptors off of this sometimes. I think now, because these last few fights were so bad, Hero basically has to wait for MARU to move out to take a 5th. And you just need to be ready to take advantage. One of the big things that Hero's been really lax on, where's his warp gate? No warp gate here, no warp gate here. So he doesn't have a forward warp-in point. If this Prism goes down, those 12 gateways, I mean, he should be building even more than that, can't warp in to reinforce the army. That's a really big problem. Some tossers like it sloppy. Thank you, Brainless. Appreciate the support, mate. 3 Nexi are building. He's going to go for a big YOLO here. This time the Stalkers are there to take care of the Libs. Raven would be a decent snipe as well. And pulling back and sniping a Viking or 2 would be good. Oh my gosh. Easy there, Hero. Bit of a derpy blink. Another 3,000 resources go down for 2 Libs and a Raven. That's questionable trading, guys. Like I said, if he exhausts himself, that's a problem. I get MARU can make a pretty sick army off 4 base, but I think Hero's maybe missed his timing. He's fighting right now with a smaller army in the middle. MARU's just going to man mode, shove forward. The Marauders going forward to tank the Colossus volleys was huge. Dude, MARU is just so much better than Hero as the game goes on. Don't get me wrong, Terran late game is much better than Protoss right now. Protoss is a bit better in the mid game, a lot of players would say, but Terran is so much better in the late game that perhaps the matchup overall is slightly favored for Terran, but I think MARU, even in the old patch, he beat Hero in late game. I think now he slaughters Hero in the late game. And we are seeing the reality of that right here. He's only got 1 Colossus out, no Disruptors out just yet. DTs did just kill 20 workers, but when MARU's just turtling and doesn't have anything else that he's trying to do, you can see how difficult this is for Hero to hang in these games. He just can't quite go toe-to-toe with MARU. Disruptor needs a big boom. whiffs. He's only got one Robo, guys. One Robo, no Storm. So he was very committed to winning before it got to this stage. Wasn't quite able to do it. And yes, the Zealot DT is doing good damage, but these gateways, they go down, he's dead. Ghosts can reveal the DTs as well. He makes him EMP himself. That's kind of a victory in of itself. He actually scanned in the wrong spot, funnily. Finally lands that EMP. Zealot DT doing some good damage. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, this is like Enclave, a very good map for turtling. So I understand why Hero's style didn't work. I think he should have kept going with the prisms, though. I feel like this attack over here was really dodge. Could be wrong, but it felt a bit dodge. Just felt like he should have been more active with like prism in the main, multi-prong and stuff. I don't know. But I think he needed Stalkers blinking in with his attacks as well. And to be fair, if the Terran micros as well as MARU, pre-splits as well as MARU, it is very difficult to find an opening because he's just got good discipline on not F2ing his army. Less the Terrans panic if the 10 Zealots in the main, they F2 the army. MARU just sends like a third of his army, sometimes half, to go deal with it. Other half stays put, defends that fourth. And even though the planetary went down, MARU had extra command centers coming up. He didn't really care. So it was so many thousands of resources Hero spent just to kill a planetary. I do think the 25 hit points on the Ghost is very silly, but I don't think... I don't even know how much that factored into this game. More gateways, Dark Shrines trying to rebuild. No chances here for Hero to get his production back up. He's going to have to tap out. GG's. All right, guys. MARU up 3-1 now in the top right of Magnetic North. Hero in the bottom left. I love that we are seeing a bit of a different map pool for this tournament. Makes me think, you know, we should probably mix in some different maps for our weekly cups as well. You know, rather than just do the ladder map pool. It's cool to do the ladder map pool for a bit when the season first comes out, but I think in like a few weeks, I'll see if Stego's keen to just keep rotating the maps and mixing it in a little bit. I just think it makes everything a bit more fresh, a bit more interesting. Takes a bit more effort on the planning side, and we appreciate Stego for helping us run our Pigasaur weeklies, but that would be really cool, I think. Okay, so we've got a low ground gateway wall off. Now, it looks like he's left an opening on that side, so he's going to almost full wall. And the idea being, I guess that stops Hellions and whatnot. Reapers can, of course, still jump up here. There's, like, very obvious little markers saying, hey, this is a Reaper ledge. The rest is not jumpable because it's got that little, you know, crest on it, you can see. There are also... Oh, look, this map also has some little dildos on it. So the map makers are big fans of dildos. Like, I don't really know why they like these little dildo forests. Like, I love them, but I'm a 12-year-old boy at heart who just thinks little doodled plants look friggin' hilarious. Anyways, there is a... No Reaper. Is this a Command Center first? What is... Oh my gosh. Dude, the Probe Harass is so good against Command Center first. So annoying. You just have to chase him with an SCV. We've got map makers in the chat. They said, yeah, I'm actually not sure why there's so many of them in this map pool. Yeah. Everyone just loves the little dildo forest. I mean, to be fair, I do feel like... I don't know. People just like fun little doodads. Like, I really like on... What map is it where there's a whole bunch of the Moopies, the little Ewok creatures, and they're like possessing another Ewok? It's like above an altar, and they're like all doing some weird summoning motion. Oh! Revenge! MARU says, eat my drill. Taste my drill, D-bag. And Hero finally gets a taste of his own medicine. Gets the taste of metal stained with pro blood. Zealot goes across the map. Gonna go in. Dude, Zealot arriving before there's anything else out. Oh gosh, please don't build. I mean, this is really hard for MARU, the Adept right behind as well. I mean, obviously he just makes the orbital runs away, but he's not gonna have a wolf. He's gone factory before Marine. Oh gosh. Oh geez. Oh geez, Rick. Oh geez. If he goes reactor, the Zealot kills it. Zealot can just kill the reactor. All right. 50 hit points. 50 hit points. Okay, one Zealot cannot out DPS a reactor, especially if you walk away from it. Hero. Yeah, reactor you can see is slightly gaining hit points, so as long as you have SCVs ready to... Oh, it's a tech lab, not a reactor. That makes sense. I was like, I was sure a Zealot could kill a reactor. And indeed, it can. But look at this. Oh man, he's gonna get through it, isn't he? The Marauder will be able to finish building, even if the tech lab dies, as long as it started building before the tech lab goes down. Even if you queue up extra Marauders, I think if the tech lab's dead, it shouldn't be able to start consecutive ones. Tech Lab does go down. 2 SCVs already fallen. Maru's greed has been called out. This is a problem. Those SCVs need to go. Drilly boys, assemble! But he's pulling red and orange hit point SCVs into the fight. The Zealot absolutely tearing those SCVs apart, and so many of them are going down. The Adepts are just going to cancel their shade. Does take out the Marauder. Brilliant damage here for Hero. Now, oh, Hellion coming out does cause a little bit of problems. Of course, that Hellion going to try and dance. I wouldn't mind him pulling these Adepts back, actually. Still got the shades there. He's going to jump on top. He's going to go for it. Oh, the Hellion! It's trying to get away from these Adepts. Third Adept comes in. These Adepts probably should just shift-click the SCVs now, I think. He's going after the Hellion like his life depends on it. Sorry for the lag spike there, guys. And that Adept will take out the last Marine, which means it's just SCVs chasing Adepts in circles around this base. Behind this, probes are still building. Hero is not completely neglecting his macro. And of course, the reactor tries to go down. It's going to get focused down by the Adept and the Stalker. Blink is about halfway done. Could easily take a third base behind this as another gateway goes down. So second gateway into that. And this Natural's actually really exposed. He doesn't realize there's like 6 SCVs just ripe for the picking. You might think, why would Maru build this? Guys, he knows he's so screwed, he needs to take risks. So he's just hoping that Hero doesn't check for that, because who would be crazy enough to saturate their Natural? And it turns out Maru would do just that. Another 3 SCVs go down. Adeptus slides into the back door there. Stalkers are still on the front as well. The Adept will go down to the Hellion and the Marine. There's a Viking that's going to have to land. He's going to have to be a expensive Marauder. The Widowmine should be able to defend, right? Stalkers take out the Widowmine. He's got to focus the Viking if he wants to stand and fight, does Hero. Takes out the Hellions, the Marines, and the Widowmine. Leaves the Viking to survive. It is a little bit of a tankier unit. And of course, he will take out 1 or 2 SCVs as well. Maru could tap out at any moment. Hero's building a gateway in his Natural. That's how far ahead he is. 4 gases coming up behind. Still no third base for Hero. Surprised he hasn't taken a third. And this was just CC first against probe harassment at the start into Zealot Adept pressure on the Natural Gateway. If he hadn't already been committing to the low ground Gateway Zealot pressure, maybe this is different. But the fact is, this is Gateway Scout. Gets there the moment the command center starts. And if he wasn't, I mean, he was already probably planning on doing a Zealot pressure, but now he's 100% sure. Great choice by Hero. Hero's had a lot of dominant early games against Maru. But we are seeing such a skill difference in the late game that he's still got to close a two-game gap. All right, guys, Maru in the bottom right side of Maganatha, Hero in the top left. T1 against Vitality. It's another big macro map, but this is a macro map where I do think your base is a bit more wide open. It's hard to defend, unlike Tokamak, where you just have to defend 1 path into your 3rd, 1 path into your 4th. On this map, you also have a big path in the middle, which you don't have to break down rocks to get to. And the main base is a lot more open on that right side, further away from the main army. I feel like this map is much harder to just straight up turtle on. I don't think Maru ever starts the match planning to straight up turtle. I think he just goes there once he realizes he's behind, but we'll see what he has in store for us here. It's going to be a barracks gas opening, very standard for Maru. Question is, does he change this rally point to the 2nd gas? The answer is no. Looks like a 1-rax expand for Mr. Maru. It's actually crazy the difference we've seen in the late game results, though. Now, Hero has gone for a no-scout gate-first build, and now he's just checking for engineering bay block, as well as any proxies inside his Natural. It's a decent build. I think it's a bit cleaner if you go gas first, but he does get a tiny bit more minerals by having the extra probe on minerals this early. Nexus gets placed on 19. No scout into 19 Nexus, 19 Cybercore is really cool, guys, because your Cybercore is barely delayed from doing a normal probe scout into Cybercore and then Nexus, but you get all the benefits. So you delay 1 probe slightly, which doesn't really matter because you don't have anywhere to mine from it anyway. And queue up 1 more probe, and then 21-second pylon on the Natural. Because you cut that probe, it's 21 rather than 22 with this build order. This is such a deliciously greedy opening, and I think you're always happy when you're facing off against a 1-rax expand. Especially like Marine first. No Reaper here for Maru. Reactor should go down. But has he forgotten it? Or he wanted to go Depot first, hey? Okay. Guess he needed the gas as well, didn't he? Fair call. Stalker's coming out, and Hero. Let's see what he goes for. You could go Stargate, even though you've gone Warp Gate and Stalker here. Just because you have so much gas, but We just saw 100 gas disappear. Oh, it's a sentry. I was like, where's that 100 gas going? Okay, so Stalker sentry opening. Because he played no scout, Hero's going to build a blind shield battery, Stalker first for safety, and then immediately chronos both probes. Oh, dude, his economy is going to be roaring. MARU going to go Hellions into 3rd CC? What? I mean, no one does this, so this is kind of good for misleading Hero. And MARU might be doing a genius right now, guys. This might be a genius thing, because you show 2 Hellions, or if he sees the reactor, and he's going to go like, whoa. Unfortunately, Sentry counters 3 command center. I almost want to say hard counters, because basically these builds for Terran are good if the Protoss doesn't figure out what you're doing. But the moment he hallucinates and scouts, Hero can drop a Forge and a 3rd Nexus immediately and get into a wildly good position. Or, since he's gone charge first, he can go for a timing. The moment he gets to 75 energy, or just like 1 or 2 seconds later, he goes for the hallucination. Don't think he sees the Hellions, but he's got a full wall off, so MARU is like, oh, okay. Well, you're playing very safe, aren't you? He's already swapped back to Marine tank production here, 2nd barracks on the way. And as long as Hero doesn't screw up and miss the 3rd command center. Nope, he sees it. He sees it's almost finished, and Hero now has some decisions to make. He could go double Forge. He can drop a 3rd. He can do anything he wants for the next few minutes. Maybe a 3rd Nexus. Let's go to Hero's camera, guys. Let's watch from his point of view, because I really feel the ball's in his court. MARU doesn't know exactly what's happening. Very hard for Terran to figure out what Protoss is doing. Terran picks their build. Protoss reacts. Yeah, he went 3rd Nexus, single Forge. I love it. Double Forge even. Oh, he's going to swarm MARU. All right, guys, so Hero's playing my style of StarCraft. He's going to delay these gases. He might take a 3rd gas, but he might stay 2 gas just for a very long time. He'll probably add Blink not too long after charge. And the whole goal here is saturate 3 mineral lanes really quickly. He could even take a fast 4th, and then swarm MARU as he's taking his 3rd. You hit him with just mass 1-1 Zealot Stalker. Good luck hanging on to that 3rd. MARU needs to scout what's happening and realize what's going on. Now, normally you'd take a quick 4th Nexus with this, but this is Hero we're talking about, so of course he's building a shield battery at his 3rd. This is a nonsensical decision, guys. I've always talked about how Hero builds shield batteries when it makes no sense. He's gone charge and 1-1 upgrades. There is no reason you would ever need this against what you've seen, right? You've seen a bunker and a 3rd command center. I mean, what is he going to move out with? 2 tanks and 10 Marines? Like, come on. You've got charge. If he moves out, it's a free win. You hard counter him so easily with charge. That shield battery makes no sense, but if you guys ever want to study when to build shield batteries, just watch every Hero game and do the opposite of when he builds shield batteries, and I guarantee you'll build them at much better timings. Whenever he plays Master Zealot, he always builds a lot of shield batteries, and it's like the style that benefits the least. He scouts the double upgrades, but he's already far ahead. Dude, he's going to have the sickest 8-gate timing. He doesn't have a Robo, so no Warp Prism, so he should go build a gateway on the other side of the map. This is something that Hero doesn't really do enough. He's going to play it defensively. He's going to build a 4th Nexus first. Okay, I'm down with it. Yeah. Like I said, that's a pretty good way to do it as well. 60 probes. Now we can go up to 70. You don't really want to go 75 probes. I mean, you could. But if you go 75 probes, you also need a fast 5th base, because in 2 minutes time, your main will half mine out. So you want just 8 workers for the 4th, plus the 8 workers from here. But actually, he goes Templar Archives 4th gas. With no Robo. Is he going to play Zealot Archon, or is he actually going to make Storm? I think he's going to play Zealot Archon. I don't think it makes sense to make Storm here. 2/2's much more important than that. He does hide his Zealots. Oh, I like the hide on the Zealots. But you know what? The Hellion MARU should know you've skipped Blink. He goes, you've skipped Blink. You've only got 1 gas on the 3rd base. This looks like a Zealot Archon timing to me. 4th and 5th barracks, building a tech lab and a reactor. MARU still likes his heavy Marine counts. Tanks on the high ground. Nice bit of insurance there. Problem on this map, this cliff doesn't cover a lot of your 3rd. So you need to have your tank like here and then in the 3rd mineral line to really defend this base. So it's actually really hard to pull this off. MARU right now pulling SCVs out to his 3rd. Robo's finally coming in. Is Hero wasting too much time? Because Hero's still not probed his 4th, and he's building shield batteries. What's he building batteries for? Batteries make no sense in this scenario. Doesn't have a forward warp-in point. This feels like it's disjointed. Hero has not committed to the most organized attack. Stim, shields, 1-1, all going to be finished for Terran. He might still be able to break him, but This feels like he should be hitting from the left with a lot of Zealots as well. He's just headbutting. Let's see, can Hero break him? Hero's got a big army. A lot of Zealots. Guardian Shield's a bit too far back, though. I do like the SCVs trying to help, but they are going to get taken down pretty quickly. The Bio Army, though, smashing the south side. But he loses a bunch of depots, a tank, 9 SCVs. Hero's okay with these trades to a certain extent because he is rich, right? Now he's up 20 workers. But I think he could be looking for more of a knockout blow if he comes from both sides. He can trap the army and stop it from kiting him down. Right now, this is, going to be a bit dicey. MARU, though, gets caught by the force fields. Perhaps a little bit low on the stim as well. A lot of SCVs are going down. MARU needs to keep his SCV count up. Stutter step is decent, but it's a lot of Zealots going down as well. 1100 resource gap, though. I think Hero's okay with that for now, especially with 2-2 about to kick in. Oh, dude, if he can get a Guardian Shield in the next fight. But he used his Sentry Energy on force fields. If he had a Guardian Shield and 2-2, he literally just kills the army. If he can move the Sentry forward, problem is the tanks for MARU need to focus fire Guardian Shield sentries and Stalkers wherever possible. One of the big threats is if MARU messes up on his micro and he lets the tanks friendly fire, that could really hurt him. His bio is pretty far back, but I think his setup's decent. Like, Maru's positioning is going to choke up the Zealot Archon really well. MARU stims, goes forward to greet these Zealots. SCVs going across the Stalkers. The tanks are getting focused down. Whoa, only one tank left. That's actually a lot of tanks going down for MARU. The force field protects the Archon. Units lost tab 2,000 in favor of MARU. Guess what? That fifth Nexus is coming up. Fourth Command Center about to finish for Terran. He can wall off this side as well. There's just no way that Protoss can fight here. I would have loved to see Hero coming from two sides like this whole time. I feel like if he's flanking around this army, these are very different engagements, you know? He's also not had a Prism in the main the whole time, which I do think is a big oversight. You don't need a Prism on the front. He could have built a gateway out here and been warping in, and a Prism could have gone through the back door much earlier. So I do think Hero's efficiency at doing these timings is a little off, and now he's way down in supply. I think MARU might have this series in the bag if he can defend this without too many more SCVs, but the SCVs! I think MARU overpulled SCVs into that fight, guys. And because he doesn't really have a counterattack timing, that may have been an overcommitment. MARU, he wants to chase him back, but Hero, down 30 supply, scares him away. And that extra stim actually really hurt MARU. Because you know Hero is going to keep headbutting with a worse army right now. Remember, those 2-2 upgrades are really big. So Wildtail 2-2 finishes. MARU needs stim discipline right now. Good trigger discipline. Also a depot there to wall off that side, and then maybe wall off this side completely would protect those tanks. Problem is, if like 8 Zealots come in the right, they can kill these 2 tanks almost for free. But Hero's been very one-directional. He's been very simple with his attack angles right now. Very simple. And that's giving MARU a chance to stabilize on the defense. Ghosts are just now starting to build. But that right side, he didn't wall off. He's left an opening there and an opening there. This is what I was talking about. Those Zealots could walk right in. Luckily, the bio's there, but that means the left side's a bit outnumbered, maybe? It's a small bio squad on the left. Another command center is trying to go down on the front line. Does create a bit of a wall. You really need to wall this mineral line off completely against Heavy Zealot. Right now, 12 warp gates are there. Immortals are building. 3-3's almost done, but not quite. Yeah, leaving this right side. A tragic mistake for MARU. It's giving Hero purchase where he shouldn't have been able to find any. 4 SCVs and a tank for a few Zealots. Hero's happy to take those trades as he takes a derpy gold base in the middle of the map. 3-3 upgrades. Honestly, Guardian Shield plus Zealots with +3 armor is so crazy. Yes, +2 attacks about to finish for Terran, but it's still going to be a double upgrade advantage for the Protoss. Bio's going to try to come forward. And can MARU defend? It's a crazy attack right now. Oh, MARU with not the best stutter step. He attacked his own depot, and he just took such a long time to start doing damage to begin with. MARU looked a little paranoid in that fight, and that was not perfect micro by any means. Luckily for him, his planetary's up, but he's just lost all of his artillery, all of his tanks. And can Hero drown him now? I don't think so. He needs to keep baiting stims. That's what Hero's looking for here. He wants to bait a stim, blink back, bait a stim, blink back. Let's get a Marauder. Nicely done. The upgrade advantage is only going to last for a few minutes, so Hero's got to get his work done right now. Zealots going to the third is going to be big. The Stalkers go after the Libs. The Bio pull back to the choke point. Lovely defensive positioning for MARU, but his SCVs are taking big damage on the third, and that is a big issue for him. Not walling that mineral line off has cost him so much. I kid you not, guys. You gotta completely wall this side, because remember, there's too many angles. Unlike Tokamak, where there's only two angles, you've got 3. 3 big angles to deal with. Maru's still dangerously low in supply. He's got 7 medevacs. He does throw an EMP on the sentry. 3 immortals now coming in. Hero just with such a crazy income. 86 probes, so much money. 700 more minerals a minute. And that third base is wide open yet again. And look at that, baits a stim for nothing. Not to mention the SCVs getting pulled. But because he doesn't have any tanks or anything, it's hard to wall off now. It's not really worth it. He's lost all of his tank lib. It's pure bio ghost. It's a ball of bio. But he's trapped. He's got to get south. He's got to get south. Third base gets jumped on. So many zealots coming in. He finally stims. EMPs not really landing. There we go. Finally does land them. 8 SCVs go down. Maru, he's getting baited here. You see the way Hero just pulls back, gets him to stim again. Hero committing here. I love the pullback on the zealots though. If he can bait another stim out of Maru, those medevacs are already low on juice. Maru, without any ranged firepower, loses control of his third, and Hero is going to wear him down. Excellent play here by Hero, wearing Maru down. Maru with some really good fight positioning, but that means he gives up control of his third. And I think this is all Hero needs because he's got the gold there. He's on 6 bases, and he's just out mining drastically now. 4,500 minerals. He can make 45 zealots a minute. At this point, Hero can just throw units into the meat grinder, and I don't think Maru can defend it. He's going to stim himself to death trying to deal with such an avalanche of Protoss. Big bio army trying to fight here. SCV's pulled off the line. It may be an excellent fight positionally for Maru, but he's just not got the numbers behind it. The Immortals are going to start it back. He's got to chase these Immortals down. That means going through waves of Zealot reinforcements off of those 12 gateways, warping in on the front lines. The Immortals and the Stalkers doing really well. Maru refusing to go down just yet, but he is so close to falling. Here we go. Bio Ghost coming forward. Good EMP lands. New base on the other gold coming up. Dude, these gold bases are hilarious. Doesn't have time to break the rocks to crush the tower and then clear the rocks. It's that takes too long. I think Hero's doing the right thing though. He's got to stay active, but you don't want to lose all these Immortals, and he's about to. Oh, Maru strikes back. He's going to get rid of the Zealots and the Immortals, but Stalkers are killing SCVs and Mules on that side. Immortals know they can't escape, so he tries to shift-click 1 or 2 extra Marauders down before they do fall. Stalkers on the right side are going to try and blink away. Hero's supply dangerously low. Remember, he's still got 3,700 minerals a minute. He needs to make about 1 billion Zealots right now. He's only got 12 gateways. He's going to keep counterattacking rather than fighting the army, because Maru, he knows, can't defend and attack at the same time. It's going to take Maru forever to get into his main base to the heart of his production. And I think that's really good. He could focus the orbital with the Stalkers. I'm not sure if that's worth it or not. And losing some probes is not the end of the world for Mr. Hero by any means. Maru has got 1 punch army. He's up 30 supply. If Maru can get on the production, maybe. He's got to get rid of the production. If he gets in the main and starts just depowering everything and then floats some buildings away, maybe. Got some bio SCV at home trying to defend as well. I do think Hero's just going to bust the ramp. That's probably the correct call. But his production will get depowered eventually. Maru, though, too busy microing at home. The bio up there trying to defend. And he is going to take out a few units, but the bio gets overrun. Maru needs to get rid of these gateways. That pylon there. These 2 pylons need to get depowered. That'll depower the last 4 gateways. Probes do get recalled over to the gold base down here. Orbitals are getting set on fire, which means no orbitals escape. It's fine. Maru has no plans of rebuilding anyway. He's just going to have some buildings alive in the dead space. There's no Stargate unit out to hunt them. Finally, that last pylon goes down, but I think Hero's already made so many extra units, right? He's got, what, 18 Zealots, 2 Immortals, 18 Stalkers, 1 Sentry. Similar army supply, which means with EMPs, Terran units, SCVs as well in the fight. Oh, he's only got 5 SCVs. I mean, he definitely has the potential to overtake here, right? Because, yes, there's 2 Robos, but I don't think there's any Robo Bays. They're not powered right now. There is a Templar Archives, but no Storm. Hero, of course, massively supply blocked. Oh, he finds another orbital there. Nicely done. And Maru just needs to try and get through all this production before any more warp-ins come in. Oh, I like the rocks. Almost gets a Stalker. Does waste an EMP, though. Hero does a really good job of skirmishing there. Remember, the medevac energy is also a limiting resource, even though there is a lot of that's like 14 medevacs. So that's a problem with the army supply. 28 army supply of Terran is healing units. That's actually really bad, especially if he starts losing Marauders to Stalkers. But Stalker goes down there, only gets 1 Marine. I think Maru's happy to take those trades. Gonna find 30 probes and a Nexus up here. Super worth trying to hunt these probes down. Even just for the hit points. I think he did EMP 2 of his own medevacs there. Does get 18 probes though. Careful with the medevacs. Hero blinking forwards there is a very dangerous choice. You've got to heal up. Got to heal up, does Maru. Maru's going to be hunting for that fight. There are 2 gold bases. The max cannon battery is genius. Cannons and batteries do not take up supply, and they've got 7 range. And good range damage output, which this army really lacks, right? Stalkers don't shoot fast enough. There's only 2 immortals. Good zealot count, though. Maru trying to chase these stalkers. Another marine goes down, though. Oh, here we go. Big fight. Zealot, Stalker, Sentry, Immortal coming forward. The Ghost getting caught there. The Bio trying to fight. The Ghost going down. Only 1 Ghost is left here. A lot of Zealots coming in. It is 3-3 upgrades against 3-3. The Stalkers are shooting the medevacs, which means I guess they're helping to tank a little bit. There's still enough medevacs to heal, but Maru just does not have the numbers. And Hero drowns him. Hero is going to force a Game 7. All right, Game 7 to decide it all. Maru in the top left. He's going to go for an SCV across the map. Oh my, is just a Proxy Reaper opening? Oh, he was going to go build a barracks behind the natural, I think. Oh, but he was going to get spotted by the probe, but he diverted at the last second. Maru confirmed map hacking. No, just kidding. He knows Hero does send a probe across very early sometimes. Hero's going to see the second SCV. Oh, man. Who? Game 7 goes double Proxy Marauder. Well, it's being scouted, so now Maru has to adapt. Maru is very good at adapting when his proxies get scouted, guys. And he's going to go eBay block instead. Barracks. You got to build a barracks, bud. You got to build a barracks. His barracks is 6 seconds delayed. That's a big delay on the barracks. But he is going to engineering bay block and try to make up for it. Oof, we'll see how we go. Probes moving around. eBay block goes down very early. Oof, I'm telling you, this barracks gas timing is super trash, guys. But Hiru's gonna have to go take his 3rd. And if Maru can block the 3rd as well, oh, he's gonna block the 3rd. If Hiro has to take this base, it's awful. Hiro's really good at rolling with the punches, though. Hiro's very good at rolling with the punches. That SCV, if it can block this base, can he block it? Can he get there? Yeah. Hero didn't make the mistake. Did you guys see that? So many players make the mistake where they just place the Nexus. He made the probe move to the middle and then placed it. We have seen so many players in that situation just place the Nexus from over here, and the probe decelerates as it gets to the destination, and then the SCV barely blocks it, or the drone barely blocks it, or whatever. Hero, one of the few pro players who remembered a basic tenet of worker micro. They decelerate. You'd think all pros would know this, because they literally speed micro their probes at the start of the game. Hero actually remembered it and got the Nexus down. That's very big. That's a huge move. And that is one of those details. I've called it out a lot recently because we've seen a lot of pros get really lazy without that. You want to move the worker into the middle and then place the building once it's in range. If you place it from out of range, the worker will decelerate and it won't build the building as quickly. So you got to move right in and then place it. Really good adjustment by Hero at the last second to move a bit deeper before he placed it. Because he'd already placed it the first time, but then he gave a move command and then placed it again once he was on top of it. And that made a huge difference. Stargate's on the way. He's going to play Phoenix, guys. You could go Oracle here. Problem is, if an early Cyclone comes out and that Oracle like can't find an opening or get sniped, it's very bad as the Protoss player. Pig saying something good about Hero. I can't believe it. Hero's a legend. Do you know how good he's played this series? If you take the first 7 minutes of every game of this series, this is some of the best PvT play I've ever seen in my life. He is so good. His build choices are catching Maru off guard. He's wrecking him in the early game, early mid game. He is mauling Maru in this series. He is literally 6-0 by the 7-minute mark against Maru in this series. There's a few criticisms I have after that 7-minute mark, but that first 7 minutes has been excellent. All right? I will, as always, call it like it is, guys. And Hero is both hot and cold. He is both hot and cold. And we've seen a perfect example of that in this series. Probe does go down. Maru's going to move down to take that expansion. Of course, Hero knows about the command center. He saw that earlier. Cyclone Marine Medevac Pressure will be moving across this map. Do we see a siege tank? Oh gosh, he's about to build a tank. 125 gas required. Siege tank. My man could get very aggressive off this. Adepts do come forward. Dude, this is crazy to stay on the front when you know there's a Cyclone here. Hero's actually a mad lad, isn't he? He didn't pull out Adept far enough back. Dude, I'm not sure. Oh, it was all a distraction. So it was Oracle. Sorry, I didn't even check the production tab. I thought it was Phoenix because I knew you'd be a crazy. Why would you? You know a Cyclone can lock on there, right? You know a Cyclone can just walk up and Hero. He's literally in range of locking on, isn't he? Is he just out of range? You have to recall that. You should never hide here against the Terran. That just is not a good spot to hide with any unit, guys. If he moves forward even a tiny bit, he's screwed. He has to recall this right now. I guess he's keeping the Cyclone pinned at home, so he's kind of like removing Maru's a chance to be aggressive. There's a Viking now, though. He's waited too long. How quickly can he recall? Oh, he's going to take a lot of damage. He will get out. Okay, Oracle does survive. He can still use that for scouting and the like. Blink is on the way. It's 3-gate Blink, guys. Battery in the main, just in case there's like auto turret harass or anything. Supply block is not going to last long as the pylon's coming in. Hero should know that he's dealing with a big push now that he's recalled back. Oh, even SCVs! MARU going all in! But there's a battery on the front. There is 3-gate Stalker. You're just not going to let you can't get the Stalkers caught. You can't get Stalkers caught. He's got high ground for the safety. If the medevac doesn't boost forward, but MARU boosts the medevac for the vision. Great damage. One of those Stalkers is already almost dead. For what? Reddit point SCV for Reddit point Stalker. I'll take that trade as a Terran player any day. Adept's going to come in, as will the Oracle. Oracle's going to try and intercept the reinforcements, knowing he's not that useful in the front. Now, Blink is not available, guys. A Cyclone does go down. Oracle turns on his laser. He says, oh, I'm sorry. Did you want to have economy in this game? Well, get wrecked. Oracle's going to do huge damage. There's 2 shield batteries. The Viking needs to get focus fired, man. That Viking does a lot of damage. But biding his time is the correct move. He could even give this base up potentially, knowing that he's killing almost every worker on Maru's side of the map. I actually would love to see Hero give this base up and build a Nexus elsewhere because he's committed to so many batteries. He doesn't feel like he can. Hero, he's going to go for a Pro Pull. He blinks forward. He doesn't have enough to one-shot the tank. He split fires on the tank the second time. But Hero goes for an engage. I don't think he needed to take it. He's killed every SCV at home. He loses every Stalker, all of his probes. I think he could have done this if he gave up the Nexus. But the batteries, they bought a tiny bit of time. They didn't really help because there was 3 siege tanks, and 3 tanks do not care about shield batteries, and that's the problem. Hero is banking on the shield batteries, but he's still got good Stalker micro. There's not much to this, right? There's no siege tank in this army. Cyclone's going to go down. Dude, the Stalkers from behind are doing good damage. Can Hero get back in this? 22 probes against 14. There's still an SCV or 2 on the front as well. The Oracle revelates the army to maintain vision, so it's easier to micro. The Stalkers are actually going to clean this up. Dude, Hero's on 1 base. Maru's on 2. Hero needs to clean this army up pretty efficiently. Good blinks for him. The drop is going to save some of these units. Dude, Hero with an amazing final stage to that hold, but a really bad initial hold on his third. He's going to rebuild his Nexus. Maru is in the dumpster on 17 workers, and I think this is playable because there's still minerals left in this main base. Hero with the Stalkers even catches the medevac. Or does he? Stalkers should split here. Can the Stalkers find it? If he blinks that way, he could have caught that. Blink that way. He's going to blink into the tank. The Oracle turns on its laser. He says, taste my laser beam, dickhead. But the Cyclone and the Marines there are still alive. I thought he could have taken down that Cyclone and maybe even the Marines as well. There wasn't that many, but he's going to get rid of the bunker. If he gets rid of these depots, massive value. Dude, this game 7 is a barn burner. I can't believe it, dude. The cheeks of both players are being clapped at multiple points in this game. It's going this way, it's going that way. The Stalkers need to get out, though. The tank has finished. And that is, of course, where these Stalkers need to maintain control of their natural. These depots, it's such a big investment. I know it doesn't matter right now, but 4 depots? The longer this game goes, that's a command center worth of investment. It's so much money. Stalker's trying to blink back. Good micro for Hero, but I can't fight. His Stalkers are too damaged. He's got to get his weak boys to the rear here. In the rear with the gear. Stalkers do take a tank shot. Hero right now is going Dark Shrine probe production. I think he's almost behaving with his army a bit more desperate than he actually is. I think he doesn't realize how far ahead he is. Now he does. Gets in the main, sees there's only 15 workers left, kills 4 of them. That Oracle, is that the same Oracle? No, he built a new Oracle, the mad lad. Command center is not defended right now. These Stalkers need to leave. Yeah, he knows if he stays too long, he lets the tanks get in position, and that's not a good idea. Tank, not quite in range though. He's still here looking for pickoffs. Zealot's coming across with charge. Dude, Zealot charge ruins this. Not to mention the Dark Templar. Oracle's going to go back in the main base. He's like, hello. Sees the Cyclone. Oh, the Oracle will be getting taken out. But look at that. Zealots go in. Stalkers blink forward. Tank goes down. He can click the command center here for an easy pickoff. That command center, the SCV's trying to repair. The Marines don't have stim. They're like, save the command center, please. But it goes down, and Maru back to 1 base at 9 minutes against what is now a 2-base Protoss player. Stalker's still kiting this army. Hero's going to be a bit careful. You don't want to bleed all of these Stalkers out. Jeez, mate, just pull back. Loses 3 extra Stalkers trying to fight when he does not need to, man. Sometimes pulling Hero's Stalkers away, it's like pulling off your friend in a bar fight that just loves to punch on. And I'm like, dude, you're trying to fight 7 people at once. Please, you're trying to pull him off. But he just wants to punch, 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 smash a bottle over someone's head, doesn't mind getting a bit cut up himself. For him, it's all about the fun of the fight. And it's the same for Hero. Dark Templar are going to pick this off, guys. There's 1 orbital for detection. DT Zealot picks off those Marines. These Stalkers pulling back to the 2 battery outposts that's still here. Maru's army is toasted, man. He's got to pick up the tank and leave. Dark Templar Zealot breach the wall off. And damn, Game 7, Maru thought he would catch Hero being a greedy boy. Was not able to with that early all-in attempt. He pivoted quite well, but the Marine tank all in. Even though he took an excellent fight on the 3rd, should Maru have pulled back? GG, well played. Hero wins Game 7, wins the upper bracket finals. Wow. I thought when all those probes died, Hero was dead. I think some of you guys probably thought the same thing. I do think giving up the base was the correct call. And it's purely because the Adept and the Oracle. If the Adept and the Oracle weren't in there, I wouldn't say you can give up your expansion. Going back to 1 base is stupid. But I think in hindsight, if Hero gives this base up, it is like by far the superior choice. Because we saw how bad this army is when it's unsieged, right? But the problem is he didn't get much damage on the move across the map because Blink wasn't ready. But now that Blink's ready, moving this army from here to here is so difficult. So I do think that would have been excellent. I mean, this fight was crazy. It was basically like 20 Stalkers and 9 Stalkers and 20 probes, or 10 Stalkers for 2 siege tanks. I think he got 2 siege tanks and a Marine for his entire Stalker army and 20 probes. I mean, that's a nasty trade that was. Should Maru have gone home here, guys? Could he go home? Should he have stayed and killed these 2 pylons? Without tanks, it's like you just see how bad this army is the moment there's no tanks with it. I think he should have gone home. You know what's funny? If he did, he probably would have walked into this stasis trap and got half of his army frozen. And he would have lost most of his units on the retreat either way. Like, you're so outmaneuvered by the Stalkers. But I think pulling away was the right call. And he really needed to keep, like, the Cyclone alive and stuff. Especially if you force a Blink back, but then you move the other direction. This move forward was not the right call. Even though it seemed like, okay, if I get on the probe line, I can just force him to fight. And here, he probably should have stepped forward, I think. But with battery and more Stalker Warpins, he was like, oh, let's turn around. Turning around was the wrong call. He's already committed so far at this point. He needed to keep committing into the worker line, but I think he'd probably already gone too deep. You guys let me know. I'm really curious. I think either way, he's going to lose a lot of units, but retreating and trying to save some of these units, even if he just saves 8 Marines or something like that, and especially because he has the rally, actually. He only needs to get to the middle of the map, because then he has a siege tank that could siege here, and Marines rallying in. If he gets back to the middle and joins with a tank, I think Maru's actually able to go with a round 2 with 1 or 2 siege tanks, and it's a much better push. Either way, hats off to Hero, dude. This got so efficient, picking off all these Marines and stuff. It's a shame he didn't get the drop. I thought he was going to get the drop. Maru, very sloppy, not boosting that initially, and then moving it straight through the middle of the map was really sloppy. But he ended up just barely saving it. GG, well played, guys. Sick best of 7. Out of this world difference in Hero's early game and Maru's early game. Hero looked much better than Maru in the early game. Build order-wise, probably execution-wise, but definitely just in his instincts and what he was making happening. On the other hand, Maru looked unkillable in late game, and Hero looked lost the longer the game went. So, really interesting matchup between the two. What adjustments can Maru make if they play again to be safer in the early game? And what can Hero do to not be so useless in the late game? That's going to be the big question next time they play.